Let's see. Good morning. Let me just adjust this. Let's see if I can adjust it without it completely wrecking. Good morning. Is that Sarah I see there? I think so. Let me bring up my videos so I can go into the chat room, because I prefer to see what's going on. Good morning, Sarah. Well, I know it's not morning in Iceland. What time is it in Iceland, Sarah? Good day. How about that? Good morning, Chris. Thank you. 2:15 p.m. in the afternoon. Let's see. Good morning. Or good afternoon. I think maybe, yep. Okay. So yes, this is another one of my paintings. This was a big change. If you see on my YouTube, not my YouTube page, but my Facebook page, a lot of my paintings are generally like symbolic. They're symbols, you know, whether it's the Om or the Tree of Life or the Khamsa or the Buddhist mantra, the seed mantra, the Bija, or the Hebrew alphabet. Years ago, years ago, in the late 90s and early 2000s, I used to do paintings that were like little critters, but mainly it was just, you know, me trying to be a little commercial. And one thing I learned as an artist is that you cannot paint, if you want to be happy, you can't paint to sell, you have to paint from your heart. Good morning, Anna. So this painting has a story, and there have been people who wanted to purchase it, but I don't want to. It's very symbolic for me. I was walking, it was October 15th, 2015, and I was walking up the sidewalk, and this butterfly was like right here, fluttering. And I turned to it, and it's like, oh, I see you there. And then as soon as I spoke to it, it landed on a bush right next to me. And I had my camera with me, and I just wanted to enjoy the moment, but it just sat there, and I was like, oh, you want me to take your picture? So I got out my camera, and I took several photos. And now, of course, the butterfly was not purple. You know, it's a monarch, so it was black, and then the orange. But in the picture, all of the dots were fuchsia and blue. Now, I remember looking at the butterfly and seeing colorful lace around, you know, the end, and looking at other monarch butterflies. I've only ever seen white circles. So I don't know. I think this butterfly was a message from Spirit to me. And it's, you know, a message of transformation. It was like a pivotal point in my life where I was being the phoenix, rising from the ashes of what had transpired in my life. And that's when this butterfly came into my life. It was sort of like this beacon. So anyway, that's the story behind the butterfly painting. And actually, if you look at my YouTube videos in the archives, you'll see that I had the opportunity to raise 2 caterpillars and watch them transform. And that was an amazing spiritual process for me. So anyway, I'll go ahead and get started, because as soon as I finish here, I have to go off to a group study session. Recently have continued my training in cranial sacral work, which is phenomenal work. And we have a study session today, which I want to take advantage of. That's one of the nice things about working for yourself. You know, you can set your own hours and whatnot. Check out the meaning of butterflies, Anna. I remember there was a time when I was, still dealing with the same thing, and there was a dragonfly caught in between the pane of a window. And, it's like, to me, that message was, because I knew if I went over to help free the dragonfly, that I would destroy its wings and something would happen to it. And it really pained me to just step back and let go and allow nature to take its course. I knew eventually the butterfly would get out on its own. And so that was like the lesson to me at that time. It's just, sometimes you just have to know when to say when, stop your activity, and just be. So let's go ahead and come into this moment. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tana Hawk. Good morning, Dave, Anna, Chris, and Sarah. So let's go ahead. I haven't did a cosmic deck of initiation card lately, so let's do that. I'd like to do that before we pull a goddess card to immerse ourselves in the divine feminine, because we are moving into that stage where the divine feminine is manifest, and we must continue to manifest it every day. Not just lip service, and meditate and absorb upon her. And let's see, where is my there's the book, there's the deck. Okay, there's the book. Okay, so I just shuffled the cosmic deck of initiation, and I'm gonna once. So the card for today is universal truth. Universal truth. It actually looks kind of sweet right next there to the butterfly painting. So let's look up that meaning. So that is universal truth. And so I woke up today, my eyes are doing a little bit better. Okay. You have found a new level of truth within yourself. So spend some time to allow it to touch into all aspects of your life. The truth rises to meet you. Be open to it. Be truthful with yourself. Being truthful with yourself opens more than you know. Creation is the universal truth, and it is rich within you. The truth is the doorway to the evolution you seek. The truth will lighten the spirit and draw you into greater awareness. So that is universal truth. So open to the truth that is within yourself, that is who you are. Okay. I wanted to share some reading with you from the Secret Teachings of the Tao. And so just a short reading and an exercise, okay? Welcome, Cassie. Communicable Tao and incommunicable Tao. At the same time, the Tao is expressed in many ways through our gifted power of communication. Oral communication is primary, resulting from the power of the voice, the manifestation of inner consciousness, and our spiritual trumpet. Verbalization is our first approach to living an independent life, finding the gateway to the Tao through the breath of life and the vibration of sound. At the time that oral communication no longer serves our human needs and expectations, letters and numbers were employed symbolically. marking the beginning of civilization as a cultural process. The voice is a powerful force that can reach from one person, dead or alive, to the multitudes. The voice can express the will and permit the self to be expressed, to touch hearts, to justify morality, and verify deeds accomplished. Our inner justice is profoundly different from the legal practice of justice for the sake of justice. It is a direct spiritual communication that goes beyond ego anticipation and social culture. It is an actualization process of human willpower. Lao Tzu states, "The Tao that is voiced is no longer that of eternal Tao. The name that has been written is no longer that of eternal name. The Tao that is voiced defines the origin of the universe through subjective expression. This is, in essence, the communicable Tao of inner self that connects deeply to both our microbiological and psychological self, as well as our macrocosmic and celestial self. The name that has been written extensively objectifies any subjective expression of this inner voice. Anyone who has reached his or her prime can verbalize and name. Upon dying, the voice and name are extinguished by the will, enabling the person to enter into immortal and eternal life." Inner voice. The inner voice is the most sacred spiritual vessel. Without this inner voice, God is not alive, the Tao is not present, and the self is not active. The inner voice expresses and characterizes the beauty, meaning, and strength of life. It is sometimes silent. At other times, it is immeasurably powerful. We often turn a deaf ear to this inner voice, refusing to abide by it or give it credence. We choose instead to rely on the external world, on external authority and discipline, to define our life as something meaningful, leaving us with confusion and distortion of our life's true meaning. In order to establish a clear relationship with the sacred vessel of our inner voice, the first set of meditation practices in this book begins with finding, restoring, and listening to our inner voice in any given circumstance or crisis. To develop your attunement to your inner voice. Okay, so we're just going to do, if you're going to, we're just going to do a little short meditation to connect us with our inner voice. And it's basically you sit upright with your spine straight, be simultaneously alert and relaxed. So basically what that means is, when you get those meditation cushions, or if you take a blanket or a towel and roll it up, set it right where your hip bones meet your hips, right there, right at the tip of your tailbone, so that you're sitting on the edge of it, so that your knees are facing down to the ground and your spine is sort of pushed forward and up. That is the most comfortable, so all your pressure isn't directly down on your spine. Your shoulders are soft and back, and your ears are parallel to your shoulders. So basically, in a nutshell, sit in a position that is extremely comfortable for you, okay? And if you need to sit on a chair, that's good too. So what you're going to do is place one hand on top of each other and place both hands over your heart. And here's a little image just so you can see. I don't know if you can see that. So you see how the thumbs are sort of, fingernails of the thumbs are touching each other, and the one hand is placed over the other hand. Now, in this picture, she's sort of hunching her shoulders up. You don't really want to do that because that's not comfortable. Try to keep it relaxed. Okay? So let's see. So place one hand over the other and place it over your heart. Listen intently to the sound of silence. You will begin to recognize a combination of spiritual voice and personal voice. Number 3, pay attention to the most immediate direction and clear message. This is the manifestation of your inner voice. Verbalize it inwardly, whether or not it makes sense to you. Name it with no preconceived notion. Meditate upon it as part of the visualized journey of your life before it actually takes place. Connect your own name with it. See how it conforms to you and your personality. Make it work for you. It is a divine plan, and your decision must be made now. So we're not gonna sit and go through the whole meditation, but that's just a brief exercise for you. So, and whether it's 5 seconds or 10 seconds, just sitting, connecting with that breath of life. So, and as you can see in the diaphragm, it's sort of like you're directing your energy towards your heart, and with your attention allowing that heart energy to flow up into your mind, into your mind. So just sitting in that position, connecting with your heart. As I sit here, I like to use my left palm to place my left palm over my heart, because that's sort of like the receiving or the giving, and connecting with that. And I know it recommends, you're identifying the voice. You don't have to give it a name or what have you, just connecting with it. I feel is good enough. Just connecting, just acknowledging the presence of your heart and your attention of your energy going towards your heart, connecting with your heart, and then allowing your heart and your mind to connect. And of course, when any of the monkey mind mentality starts to pop up, just allow it. What I like to do is just focus on my breathing. I just, nice and slow and relaxed. So that is from the Secret Teachings of the Inner Tao. Good morning, Gary. And another exercise that I'll just show you sort of briefly, what I usually like to do and what I use as a grounding tool is I like to take my left hand, place over my heart, and then my right hand I place either above my navel or just below. And breathe in there. And it's a great way to not only, your feet are nice and firm, shoulder length apart, connecting with the earth, but also, and most importantly, connecting within, coming in touch with your body, touching yourself in a gentle, loving, accepted way, and just, taking time to connect. So I hope that little exercise will be something that you can build upon and grow upon, you know, whether it's 10 seconds, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. That's the beginning of meditation. That's a meditation that you can get in touch with throughout the day. You know, even if it's odd for you to touch yourself while you're at work or wherever you are, just touching your hands, and just taking a moment to pay attention to your breathing and allowing your shoulders to relax, because you know when you're in those tense moments, your shoulders come up, you're shallow breathing, you're like ready to go. So welcome, Gary. So I wasn't particularly focused on any particular chakra right there, but yeah, if you feel that, you know, you're having some issues with your communication and voicing or not speaking your voice, I mean, touch anywhere in your body that you need to touch, you know, and that's acceptable in public if you happen to be in public. There or there, you know, wherever you need to. And it's, you know, I just feel, you know, focus with intent, drawing that energy to within. And basically that exercise that I just finished with the Tao, that was about getting in touch with your inner voice. So I got the Goddess card, Baba Yaga, and this is the Goddess Oracle. Okay, so we are practicing consciously bringing in the divine feminine. So let me go ahead and shuffle the deck. I don't think I did that. Can you hear that? Love that shuffling sound. Okay, so I'm splitting the deck. Ooh, Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay. And she talks about rhythms. So that's rhythms. Reminds me of the Empress card from our last night's presentation. You know, she's all about the cycles of time. And my teaching for the Empress card is about, you know, getting in touch with nature, is attuning yourself to natural time rather than digital time. And just in case you miss it, this is a beautiful book you want to check out, Partnering with Nature, The Wild Path of Reconnecting with the Earth. And it's such a beautiful green. It's by Catronia MacGregor. As I think there's other books out with the same title, so you want to make sure you get Catronia MacGregor. So Morgan Le Fay. And reminds me of Mist of Avalon, which is one of my favorite movies. Morgan Le Fay. Here we go. Oh, Sarah says she walked her dog barefoot in the grass again yesterday. It is nice. It is nice to be barefoot in the grass and really connect with the earth. Morgan Le Fay. When I dance with life, I dance with my own rhythm. I keep my own time. My soul's tides are aligned and flow with my beat, my own unique expression. By honoring myself, I honor all. When you dance with life, what's your rhythm? Is it quick or slow? Is it lively or liturgical? Repetitious or ever-changing? Do you let the tempo serve you or unnerve you, soothe you or seethe you, mettle you or unsettle you? Do you know? I like that. She's all about getting in touch. You know, this sort of connects with getting in touch with your inner voice. And when you get in touch with your inner voice, that inner ground of being, you're getting in touch with your own rhythm, with your own nature. And it is from there, when you live your life from within, from the inside out, that is where true joy and true peace are able to manifest themselves. And speaking from the inside out, goes along with the story of our butterfly. And you've probably heard me mention it before. The caterpillar's chrysalis is always inside of itself, and it splits itself inside out, turns inside out, splits itself in half, turns inside out, and covers itself and wiggles and creates this chrysalis from within. So let's read the mythology of Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay is a Celtic triple goddess of death and rebirth, appearing as a beautiful young maiden, a powerful mother creator, or a death-giving hag. She was also a sea goddess, for her name Mor in Celtic means sea. Her last name has two meanings, the fairy or the fate. In the Arthurian legends, she was half-sister to Arthur. It is said she manipulated Mordred, Morgan and Arthur's son, by getting him to kill his father. As Arthur dies, Morgan Le Fay comes to his aid by spiriting him to the magical island of Avalon, where she heals him, then casts him into a deep sleep from which he will awaken when the time is ripe. That's deep. Morgan Le Fay has come dancing into your life with her drums and her magic to invite you to discover and live your rhythms. What are your personal rhythms? Do you know the best time for you to exercise? For you to sleep, eat, be creative, make love, work, etc.? Or do you spend all your vitality adjusting to the rhythms imposed on you by your work, family, lovers, friends? Have you been submerged in the life of another and lived his or her rhythms instead of your own? Perhaps you never discovered your own rhythms because you wanted to please those around you and be, quote unquote, one of the team. It is vital for you to live according to your own rhythms. Flowing with your rhythm brings you great energy because you are no longer suppressing what is natural to you. Morgan Le Fay says vitality, health, and wholeness are nurtured when you flow with your own unique beat rather than against it. Yes, I love the Hamsa. So, I invite you to take from this broadcast today a method, a tangible method for connecting with your inner voice. And as you connect with your inner voice, connect with your own inner rhythm. Feel who you are. Feel how you want your gait to be. Not keeping up with anyone else, not speeding up or not slowing down just to satisfy those around you. Because remember, you are divine, you are sovereign, and you are free. So thank you. I hope that this session was good for you. It was good for me. I appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you, April. April says, thank you, Tamu, for the stillness. Thank you. Thank you guys for being open to what I have to share, for allowing me to come into your life. And I thank you for being in my life. So have an awesome day. I have to go and take my massage units out of my car so I can get ready for cranial sacral and take the little one for a play date up at the park after school. Mom's time is not always her own. However, I do try to make a point to slow down, check in with myself, and do what I need for me. Thank you, Chris. I actually, Chris says that I should maybe want to look into recording some meditations. I actually do. I really enjoy it, and that will be the next on my list of things to purchase. I'm trying to get a decent webcam, because I would like to purchase, stream through my computer, so sometimes I can split screen with you. My cell phone, my iPhone's the only thing that has a decent camera right now, so I'm using that. So after I get the webcam, and then later when I save up more funds, I want to get a stereo microphone recording unit, because that way, because I have crystal bowls that I use, and you want to make sure that you get all of that good surround sound, so that when people put their speakers on, it's almost like they're right there with the bowl. So that's on my list. So thank you all. Much love, much love, much love. I wish you peace and great bliss.